contextual to like what's going on and like how it's being presented and like what the messaging behind it is. Like there are definitely, I would say, if there's anything that is very common with this in terms of cultural appropriation, one of the biggest things that I've experienced like growing up has been how Native American culture is often like very heavily appropriated, oftentimes for profit. There's you go to the Midwest, you go anywhere in the Midwest or in the South, like in America, you will find tons of stands selling little fucking, Native American
New Mexico, New Mexico and Arizona.
There'll be some
really
white
bad.
guy who sits down at a fucking bonfire to tell you all about how the Indians are noble savages who like to talk to spirits by doing drugs. Like it's
all those novelty.
But isn't that bullshit and therefore then white culture, and so it isn't cultural appropriation?
Right, but then you start associating a lot of like cultural elements that are actually part of the culture with that caricature of a Native American.
Yeah,
so like for example, like the headdress.
I want to talk about something happened this last weekend out in Rapid City, which is in the western part of my state, where at the Grand Gateway Hotel there was a stabbing. A crime happened at this hotel. Sure. On Sunday, because it's family owned, the mother of the family went on a huge tirade on Facebook saying that all Native Americans are banned from her hotel, and that she will make a special rate for non-Indian tourists and ranchers to come to her hotel. And it just
Damn.
Well, and in her second post, she went on a huge tirade saying that the Rapid City mayor is too lenient on Native Americans, that there's a lot of dark money running through the city. And that's the first time I ever heard of dark money. Apparently, dark money is like money that comes from like interest groups geared towards like minorities or something.
Dark money
and now
is any kind of shady money from any kind of interest groups. Be they like oil lobbies and.
Well, I mean, like,
dark money is like, listen, okay, if it comes from the Koch brothers, it's white money. If it comes from it's dark money.
It's you look at her Facebook. She's obviously like a big QAnon and type of person. And
what was her justification? What was her? Sorry. Keep going.
Her justification for banning Native Americans was because of a stabbing that happened at her hotel.
Was it the perpetrator like a native?
It's very illegal to ban a minority group.
So like the Pine Ridge Reservation, the West Cheyenne Reservation, the Crow Agency, and several others, because apparently the Grand Gateway Hotel was the hotel all the Native Americans went to whenever they had a big conference or basketball tournaments in Rapid City, and they all just said, we're not going to recommend our people come to you, but if they do and you deny them, we'll make sure you have a nice big fat fucking lawsuit.
And
that's like a direct contradiction to like the Civil Rights Act. Like, there's no like clearer case of that.
I remember this.
And then apparently her son is the one who actually like runs the hotel, and he came out and said, "Oh, my mother, she has no direct input in the way the hotel runs. She's just old and crazy and all that. You know how old people are." But then one of the employees, one of the managers leaked a bunch of emails from him saying, where he basically said in emails to his managers, he's like, "I really wish we could just ban these Native Americans. We had to spend $20,000 on security cameras because every time they come around." He went on the same kind of racist tirade, but in private. And then the managers are like leaked it.
Liberals versus conservatives explained in the best way possible.
Wait, real quick. I'm guessing. I know for sure the stabbing excuse is bullshit, but like, was the perpetrator the guy, like Native American? Was that her like weird?
Who cares? I hope it was. I hope that same guy comes back and stabs that old bitch.
Yeah. Well, no. Hang on. Let me.
I remember being a kid doing child labor for I grew up in like a tourist area.
In the
What
cobalt
do you
mines,
mean?
yeah.
Yeah, and so basically my grandfather would get drunk. Like drive
Uh-huh.
to bars and get drunk, like to a specific bar. And
Same,
like
yeah.
the waiter at that bar always was like, this is not really a great environment for a kid to hang out in because there's smoke everywhere, people are shit-faced. I'm gonna encourage him to like run around outside and pay him a couple cents to like get customers in here. I wanted to like get customers in the place because I was very proud of my rhetoric skills as a little boy. But he told me very specifically, do not get English people in here. English people are terrible. English people, they always fight, they get way too
Yeah.
drunk, and they will break the bar.
No, those are Irish people. The English people would be, I don't know, like beat up a trans person. I don't know what they
No,
do.
he was fine with the Irish. He specifically said, not that I
What a
knew the
lad.
difference at that time between Irish people and English people. It was like if they're
Irish
English,
sing
we
sea
don't want
shanties.
English people in here in this establishment.
No, Cody. The Irish have fun when they get shit faced. The English beat each other up. Occasionally, like at least more so than
He's got a point. He's got a point.
Yeah, the Irish beat up the English when they get drunk.
That's
Yes.
true.
And when there aren't
If
any
ever
Englishmen
there's an
around,
English-
they make. And when there aren't any English,
Anyways.
If the English aren't around, I guess they just make fun of the Welsh.
Yeah.
they make.
But yeah,
Yes.
Cody,
No, they
I
make fun of the Scots. They make fun of
Well,
themselves
for
and the
fucking
Scots.
fair enough.
As
And they
as a
just sing
British
shit.
yeah,
as a
so
British person myself, I can tell you, ourselves when we get
Well, how would you
as
know?
an
Because
English,
anytime you're around the Irish, they would be beating you up.
no, because I've only ever been around one Irishman,
As a British.
and he's never been drunk
But
in
yeah,
front of me. At the
okay,
very
so,
least.
okay, so Cody,
Like, Ira.
I posted pictures from the big protest rally in Rapid City. Apparently, what happened was Saturday morning. There was an altercation in one of the hotel rooms where 19-year-old Quincy Bearrobe shot at the victim. They don't list who the victim is.
Well, I thought
the
he was
victim- the
stabbed.
victim-
He had a gun.
I thought it was stabbed. No, it was a shooting. That was my
Oh.
mistake.
Okay.
And they're not giving out the name of the person shot, so the
The
person might be a
bayonet.
Me, I
minor.
did it.
But yeah,
No,
it was a Native
Cody,
American
Cody.
who did it.
Cody, the guy who shot, no, the guy who was shot, not the guy who shot.
No, the guy who shot is named Quincy Bearrobe. He's a Native
Yeah, no,
American.
Cody, they're not
That's
revealing the
random.
guy who got hit by the bullet. Yeah.
I don't care. I don't care who got hit. I fucking shot a person in that state at that time. This is my confession live on Fast Food Thursday. Yeah, I'm safe though because no one watches it.
Yeah.
That's.
But yeah, there's a pretty big
there's
pretty big rally and protest going on out there against the hotel, which is like
What state is
Cool.
this again?
South Dakota.
Yeah,
Wait,
but
like, this guy isn't.
yeah, I mean we can talk about this, or we can like bring it back to like the thing that we were originally talking about, which is cultural appropriation. And
Oh
that-
yeah.
I-
Sorry.
This is something that you can't.
I-
Like, you can do it. You can do this as like a corporate entity, but as an individual, you can't. That's not really.
Yeah,
something
you're
you can do.
dead more or less.
Yeah.
It's very difficult unless you're very influential and like are able to like make mass cultural movements. Then it's not something you could.
And like even
That's
then,
good for-
even then, when you get like people to do this, because like this is culture. All culture that has ever existed has happened through cultural appropriation to some extent. I know that we have this because it's like on vogue to have this particular type of lens of like cultural power to say, oh, it's only when it's like powerful people and not powerful people. All culture has always mixed all of the time. It's just how culture happens, and you
Well,
can't
culture
even
mixing
you
is
can't
not the same thing
even
as appropriation, right?
boil-
Like appropriation is the exclusion of that racial group from their own
Yeah.
culture, as opposed to the not assimilation, that's the wrong word. The commingling of different cultures. So like American Chinese food is not cultural appropriation. It is Chinese people came here and then took their food and applied American fucking health standards to it, and then made the most
Yep.
They just
amazingly
made
unhealthy
this-
shit
It
on the
also
planet.
isn't. Yeah, it
Yeah,
also
like-
they just didn't like a lot of the people that came over weren't chefs.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, it
people of
tells
other
that- yeah.
cultures influencing
Yeah.
the culture that they exist in, and then having that culture influence them.
Yeah,
That's fine.
The food was adjusted for white people palates, basically.
See, but no,
Yeah.
it's not just that. I mean, because I know a little bit about this, is that they also like they didn't have the ingredients in America to do many of the dishes that they had, and they also didn't have a lot of like the culinary expertise that was required because they were like laborers, not like high class
And they
Chinese
were-
chefs.
they were
There was
a lot
not
of-
really a big market for high class Chinese chefs in America at that time. So they didn't get those over here, and they just like they remembered the dishes that they ate as kids and tried to emulate them as best they could, and that's how that particular cuisine emerged.
Yeah, that's how like chop suey became so
Yeah,
popular.
yeah.
It's
And
also,
I-
it's also,
The song, yeah, it's a good song.
Yeah,
Cable Brothers.
it's also how like
Yeah.
nachos. That's how like nachos became popular. It was
Oof.
It was like a military. There was like a military base out in California, where just outside the military base was like a Mexican restaurant, and they. Well, this is the legend. So it's like, yeah, oh, who invented nachos? It's like, who invented the hot dog? You know, it's like it's
Who
one of the
invented
legends.
Holocaust? Yeah, I know.
Yeah. So, like, supposedly it was like, oh, the restaurateur just like needed to whip something up quick for a bunch of military wives who showed up and were hungry, and so he like invented nachos, and now we have nachos.
yeah. I mean, it's always
Nice.
stuff like that. You can't like culture is something that's very difficult to attribute to any individual person, and that's like
Yeah.
almost by definition. And it's also like the thing is like even if now like a white person goes ahead and does a Chinese restaurant, if like you can't. If you don't exclude Chinese people from like working there or going to eat there, it's also not cultural appropriation. And
Right.
then also
Oh.
it's also down to because I saw that this thing that happened in New York,
Yeah.
where a lot of like white chefs they were like fascinated with the Chinese food, and so they began making it. And then a lot of
Yeah.
the food writers in the food press is like, oh, this is like Chinese food but clean. It's like, what the fuck?
Bro.
Oh yeah, they did that with bread.
Yeah.
They did that. They
Yeah.
did that. They did that with bread as well. Where like in like the late 19th, early 20th century, it's like, oh, we have the whitest flour ever, so we can make the purest, most healthiest kind of bread. And now we know that like the white bread is like the least nutritious.
Well, that's
kind
like
of
from
bread.
the medieval period
considered
because
it's
it's
also
more
delicious, though?
expensive and takes
Yeah.
longer to
To
make
refine.
What,
Yeah,
it takes longer to
I
refine.
mean,
So in the medieval
Cody-
period, that was considered more something that wealthy people ate was white flour, whereas like whole grain, which is more popular now, is
Yeah.
poor.
Also, I
Was it because, like,
posted
it was more
a
white flour,
screenshot.
Was it because like white bread was more processed, so it costs
Yeah.
more?
Yeah.
Yeah, it cost
Alright.
more. It was more
Of
expensive.
course.
So
Also
like
fucking
yeah, in the late 19th, early 20th, when widespread industrial milling came about, it was like, oh, the bread that the royals and the elite used to eat, now even you can eat it, the purest, healthiest. You know, that's like how Wonder Bread became so popular and stuff, and then it's like. And it's like, oh wait, this bread has like little nutritional value. So they had to add back in all the vitamins and minerals that were taken out during the refining process, and now everybody just eats like whole grain and 12
Cody,
grain.
But
Tastes
I'm
really
almost
good.
into Cody. Was that a scab or was that a player? Because he
That's a
did
scav. That's a sniper scav.
All right.
I also posted a screenshot of the mother on her tirade about the hotel and banning
I
Native
saw
American.
that. I saw that.
Of course.
Oh.
God damn, that's cringe. That was
Yeah.
genuinely fucking cringe to read.
Oh god. This is good. Dark
She's not-
Blood.
I mean, she doesn't like drop any like slurs or anything, but you know what
You
she's
know
thinking.
what he means. You know
Yeah.
what he means.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to
like,
figure
Kit-
out like what is her last name? Like what national? Ure, like Hur. Yeah,
Ooh,
like what
that's
national?
German.
Oh, German. Oh, thank you, Burger.
Oh,
Control
that
your
would
people.
explain
From you.
that would explain a few things actually.
Yeah, no,
Burger, control
Uhr
your
is
mans,
basically
bro.
the German word for clock.
Oh.
Oh,
Yeah.
Also, her family
Bitch,
came.
cuckoo.
Cody, is this a statue or a petrified cat? And also, can you put the ghoul
What?
mask on?
Is it what? This is a cat statue. And yes, I can put this mask on, but
Okay.
I'm not going to because I have to take my headphones off.
Yeah,
Oh,
fair enough.
This game is way too realistic.
you should put the you should be able to have ghoul
It's true.
mask
You
on.
cannot. There are helmets and masks you can't wear if you have a helmet on. I mean, if you have a headphones in.
It's too realistic.
Too autistic.
That is.
Ow, fuck.
That's autistic. Yeah.
That is
You bring
autism on a scale unseen in many generations.
Yeah, this is autism on a level we haven't seen since Toonami first aired in 1997.
That's a good one.
There's a negative XP song that was like them doing the Scott Pilgrim versus ruined a whole generation of women for dudes is great.
Wait,
Yeah.
there was. Holy shit.
Yeah, you know. Oh, Posh, you know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah, I know what you're talking. I know who Negative XP is, but I didn't know he made a song like that. You know, I know
I will send it to you. It's really funny.
Ecstasy, da na na da na 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 da na da na na da na na.
BVD and ecstasy.
Yeah, that one.
Material, all like ecstasy.
It's time to do
Let's see
German.
the show's good.
No,
It's good. Posh, I will send you I'll send you the thing I'm talking about.
Send it, my brother. My brother, send it.
It's called Toonami ruined a whole generation of man children. Copy.
I like
They
Toonami.
ruined enough.
Toonami
Look,
exposed
don't
me
get
to a
me
lot
wrong,
of
I like
anime
it
I
too.
love. Yeah.
I like it
Yes,
too, but
and
at the same time,
you
it's hilarious.
you prove my point.
Well, because I like Outlaw Star.
Burger, I can't read sauerkraut. Can you please read out that Obama meme to us?
So that would destroy the joke now, wouldn't it?
He's got a point.
Wait a minute, why do you
Because-
have Rings of Redemption in the thumbnail? He's cringe because he's a pedophile.
The thing, wait, Wings of Redemption
No,
is
he's
pedophile?
No, he's cringe because he committed a school shooting, dude. Get your facts right.
I can't remember.
Okay, I see where this is going. But wait, what was I going to say? Did
back up. Did Wings actually get?
Fuck's sake.
I suggest you guys. It's funny. I really suggest you guys watch it. But wait. Did Wings actually get? Is Wings actually announced, or is this another op by trolls?
No. He said some really creepy shit on stream one time, and that's the only thing. He talked about like
I've definitely also said some really creepy shit on stream.
yeah, but the fact that it's
We all have.
the fact that it's Wings of
Especially
Redemption
me.
saying that everybody just is like
I like to stick
He's-
my penis in little children.
Bro, I came back at a weird time.
Go, Burger, go!
Honestly.
This
Burger,
is
you
I'm
gotta
gonna
get
clip
this
that.
stream shut down, goddammit.
Big clip
Tony,
burger.
We're talking about Wings of Redemption
this
saying
is
some
gonna be the
shit.
strategy is you just say incredibly fucked up shit and then I still get busted by the police because of doing something that's actually illegal as opposed to just saying dumb shit on
They
the
start looking
internet.
at you as like, oh, well, he actually
I
was.
still go
I mean,
to
he's
prison.
not a pedophile, but he was stockpiling a ton of fertilizer in his house for some reason.
Lol. That would explain a few things, actually.
Can you make bombs?
see
out of
is
fucking
is he
Oh, yeah.
is he a terrorist or is he the what the fuck is that one guy from Elden Ring? I forgot his
haven't gone
name.
Far enough to know what you're talking about. I know there's a snake. There's a skink lady, and that's pretty cool.
Oh yeah, there's a skink lady. There's also a pope turtle. The
Pope
pope
turtle,
turtle.
yes.
What?
A
A
pope
what
turtle.
turtle?
A pope turtle.
It's from stuff, dude. Don't.
I like the giant jar that asks you to smack him with something large from behind.
Alexander is a cauldron, Cody. Get your fucking facts right.
He looks like he's made out of clay.
He is. He's a clay cauldron or pot.
Is
Wait, what did
this
you call him
about
again?
Mars? Is
Call
this,
him a pod.
is this a Mars?
Oh yeah, this is per Aspera. I saw it on your wish list. So I was like, oh, I'm gonna play that.
Lol.
That looks cool.
I've
it's
been
a
playing
building.
Disco Elysium.
Oh, that game's so good.
Yeah.
Is it any good,
I'm
by the
liking
way?
it rather a lot, actually.
As a
What kind of-
forgetful communist who works partially for the government, it made me feel I could relate to the guy a lot.
Finally, some representation.
What kind of game?
Finally, representation for communist class trader, alcoholic, amnesiacs.
What kind of game is
A
it,
game
Burger?
for depression.
It's
A game
basically
for-
a point-and-click
it's an-
adventure.
It's a narrative game
No.
that kind of is structured around like dice rolls. The core mechanics of the game are that you have like 32 like aspects of your personality that you have to put points into, and they talk to you while you're investigating a crime, and it's like narrative structured, and occasionally your aspects of your personality will roll a dice depending on like how many points you put into them. So stuff like
Okay.
logic, your encyclopedic knowledge, your fortitude, your hand-eye coordination, like it's all different aspects of like you as a person, and it's all voice acted. It's all very good. And the backdrop of this, the plot of it is you're a cop who loses all of his memory and all ideas of who he is as a person.
Okay.
And apparently you're there to investigate some crime, and also you have no idea what the world is like, and so you have to sort of investigate how like politics and and the world work from that perspective. And it goes into a lot of like politics, like or like contemporary.
I like how
World
I
building
like
is
how,
so great. Honestly, it is so.
You
good.
can become a fascist or a communist in it, or a liberal or a libertarian.
Or an
I like
ultra
how-
liberal.
I like
Ultra liberals
how
are libertarians, but yeah.
I like how in the beginning of the game you're so hungover that you could kill yourself if you turn on the lights.
Yep.
Damn. Is that a real option in
That's-
game? Goddamn.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
you
your,
can
that's
kill
your health in
yourself.
the game is
Great.
there are certain actions you can take that will affect either your health or your psyche, and your health and psyche are dependent on your primary statistics. And if you have really low either emotion or like endurance or whatever, then you could die really easily from like really simple shit.
Oh yeah. Also, there's that one anti SJW artist. What's his name? Like Prime85 or something. He's like
the
a
guy
real.
who did that Joe Biden comic. That's
Yes,
actually
yes, yeah.
funny.
Yeah. He started
Takes away
playing
a-
it. He started playing it and tweeting about it, and his
I have that picture.
his initial
Wait,
tweet
tweet-
is like,
wait, tweet about what?
This game is art, and then like a couple tweets later, it's like I'm detecting communist bullshit.
yeah. It's like well,
Well,
it's like the developers like literally went to the Game Awards and said like our greatest inspiration was Karl Marx.
Yeah, they
and
thanked
Engels.
Karl Marx and Friedrich Engels for giving them
my
the political
favorite,
education.
my
to
favorite
make the
character
game.
thus far in this game is Measurehead.
Measure
fucking-
it.
This is
Measurehead.
basically-
Gigantic black fascist. Yeah.
Yeah, this is a huge he's not really Middle Eastern. Like it's not the real world. It just plays in a real world
Senegalese or
analog.
whatever the fuck is the
Yeah.
Senegalese.
name?
I am
Measurehead?
pure example of Semini's racial supremacy.
Is he going,
Wait, did he
is
say
like a
that
fucking
in
black
like a
supremacist?
French accent?
Yeah,
And promising race people return. Yeah, everyone in the game speaks with a French accent.
Oh
It's
yeah,
supposed to
because they're
be
French
like-
developers, aren't they? They're French
it's
developers.
supposed to be
aren't
like it's the context of like the historical context is like imagine if France instead of Russia going through the October Revolution stuff, France kind of does. It's not exactly France, but culturally it's France.
they?
So
And then
so,
instead
like-
of the communists winning in the revolution and taking over, they get defeated.
Yeah.
Like the Red Army is
France-
See,
defeated by.
I always thought of it more like Quebec, like it was like
So
a
France has a communist
city.
revolution and then spreads out culturally, but then they lose.
No, they like it's the initial.
they
like,
just
so like
lose.
in the Russian Revolution, like they have the October Revolution and Lenin takes power and the communists take power, and then shortly after you have the White Army, the war against Russia, like the Civil War, and you have the White Army versus the Red Army, and the Black Army was there too, but they get killed by the Red Army. But
Mm.
Okay.
Sounds pretty racist.
yeah, In our world, the Red Army wins. In this thing, it's if they lost, basically.
Yeah.
There's a lot of what I call like Wes Anderson style world building, where there's a lot of very impressionist and very analogous language, like the use of language. You can listen to them if you know a lot about like the real world, even though pretty much nothing there is like it is in the real world. You can like detect the analogs that these things are supposed to represent, and it's really well done.
I just remembered that this picture exists.
Give me a sec.
Also, don't forget
I'm doing
Patreon VC. Goddamn it.
I made that. I made that for Burger.
How cringe would it be to do a playthrough of like, what's the war called? You know that whole war that happened in Japan, Shogunate versus Imperial? I forget what it's called. I think it's the Boshin War.
You mean the one where Tom Cruise comes and does his shit? That one or something else?
Yeah, that one.
Yeah.
The Last Samurai.
Tom Cruise is a badass in that.
Basically, just do the Last Samurai.
I love. Is he actually? Is this like the plot of the film?
I'm going to be doing a playthrough. I'm going to be doing a playthrough of a strategy game where I am literally playing as a Shogunate clan, but only playing with traditional units. So that means no riflemen, only muskets, bows, and spears.
I guess enjoy losing.
That's gonna look hilarious.
Now, is this what Total War Shogun's about? Period of time.
Yeah. I mean, I could go the extra mile and do what was it? An actual Imperial faction, but only using traditional units. But that sucks out half the fun because all of the Imperial factions only have bonuses for Imperial and non-traditional units. So it's like, what's the point? I'm just stabbing myself in the foot.
So, but was this the plot of the film that Tom Cruise is the last samurai?
The plot of the film was the revolution that happened. Like there was like a resistance movement, because the samurai were essentially losing their privileged status as like basically aristocracy whenever the Meiji Restoration was going through, and they had a rebellion. They did not, however, all grab swords and try and charge the enemy who had guns. That'd be fucking stupid.
It was fully like modernized by that time.
No, but what I want to know is if Tom Cruise was the last samurai.
There was actually an Irish guy. I think it was like an Irish guy who was actually like who's based on the character's based on. It's not an American guy.
This is based on a real person.
Yeah, it's based on an actual guy who went to Japan and fought with the samurai.
So Tom Cruise's character is a Civil War veteran from like the when like the Union went and exterminated all those Native Americans. He basically fought a battle where Custer just absolutely decimated a tribe of Native people and has PTSD, so he's an alcoholic coping with his trauma. And basically, he gets approached by, I think, the U.S. government. I forget. Basically, he's helping the Japanese military fight the samurai who are who are against like modernization of Japan and stuff, and they're trying to like keep them still being like power, have some presence in Japanese society. But then he gets, like, after a raid by ninjas, this is a real fucking scene. No, the ninjas were from the Imperials. Long story short, he gets kidnapped by the samurai faction and learns and becomes a samurai.
Hell yeah.
Cody, that's basically what happened, right?
I wasn't listening. I was looking up the information on the actual guy.
I watched a film.
Becomes the last samurai.
A French military. Okay, I watched a film recently called Hostiles with what's his name, Christian Bale, where it's also the main character is also like a Union war veteran, who also killed a bunch of Native Americans, and then they tell him like, oh yeah, this guy who was like a resistance fighter that killed a lot of your friends, he has cancer, so we're releasing him. And you have to safely escort him to his homeland, which is halfway across the country. And he's like, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing that. And the colonel's like, why? Why are you not doing it? So, I'm racist. I hate him. I'm racist.
I'm the big racist.
It's a great film.
Yeah. By the way, just...
Hold up up a motherfucking minute.
What? Oh, she's yelling about video game. Okay.
Okay.
No, Cody,
Okay,
I've been playing this mobile game for 7 years.
Oh no.
Oh,
I
dear.
was on level 575,000 out of 10. Oh my god, there's a
Did she just
Wait,
lose
you-
her save file?
What
No,
is-
it's she switched phones from an iPhone to an Android,
Oh
And-
no.
and her mobile game didn't keep the progress she made. So she has to
Oh,
start over.
was it fake
she not make
grand
an account
order?
I'm
with
so
her email?
sorry.
Wait, was it
That's-
was
Wait, Cody,
was
did she?
what's the name of the
Did
game?
It's like
Did she
what's
not
the name of the game, babe? Gardenscape.
Did
Oh,
she not,
okay,
like,
I've never played
Did
that.
she not sign up with Google or connect her email to it?
Well, no, because her save file is associated with her Apple account.
Oh.
Wait, and they don't have an option on Android to log in? Because I know
don't think
some
so.
games let you do that.
I don't know. I don't know.
Oh,
I don't know how
Sucks.
iPhones work. So.
I don't know why the
There's
fuck some games
sort
just
of like
don't have. I don't know
heard
why
it-
some games just don't let you connect with your email, because like that should be a feature for like everything.
None of the
yeah.
like the games are not designed to be convenient for you to use. They're designed to make
Yeah,
you.
that's true.
They're
Yeah.
designed for you to spend money on them. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hurry,
I-
Cody,
which I
be
hate.
a hero. Go buy her an
No,
iPod
how much money do you
Touch.
spend on that game?
too much for it to be gone after 7 years. Do you remember
Jesus,
I had to
uh,
take your card away from me
Yeah.
because I spent $100 in the game store in 1 week?
Ugh.
I'll
Cody,
do that again.
Cody,
Yeah.
Cody, can you give her my condolences?
Posh gives his condolences.
I understand how she feels.
Hey, can I say LOL Android peasant?
What do you mean, LOL, Android peasant? Fuck
Apple's
off.
pretty cringe too, honestly.
Apple is super cringe compared to Android.
Cody,
The only
Cody,
similarity
Cody.
between royalty and Apple users is that they both deserve the guillotine.
Very, very true. This I agree.
Wait,
Yes.
one more thing. Cody, do you guys have like Mac have like a Mac laptop at all?
Some magical
No.
way.
Okay.
I'm not cringe. My laptop is Linux. It's Manjaro.
There is actually Apple jokes have been made about this. There is in Germany like a parody organization of the Nazi Party called Bund Deutscher Äpfel, which is like it's called, you know, like a federation of German apples, and they have like the armband and all that, but instead of a swastika, it's the Apple logo. It wasn't
Apple logo.
originally a
Yeah.
play on like Apple the company. It just eventually people like made the connection.
That's
Lol.
funny. That's funny. No, hey, Cody, what I was saying about like an Apple laptop was if you have like a Mac computer, I think you can like technically download iTunes games onto your computer and play them. I don't know if that works for everything, but I feel like I've seen that somewhere. I could be wrong though. I haven't.
No. Did I fucking bring my clan
Wait, hang on,
leader
one of
to
these
this
guys is
battle?
called Hayashi Tadataka, and the other guy is called Hayashi.
No, I think, Burger.
Yeah.
I think I might have done
Different
something stupid
people.
here and brought my clan leader into the battle.
That's not
Shit.
really what I was commenting on, but that does
Yeah,
sound...
no.
Which
So-
one is your clan leader? Is it Hayashi Tadataka or Hayashi Tadakata?
Yeah, Shita.
Patakata?
Yeah.
Wait. God, I don't want fucking snow.
Cool.
Damn it.
Fucked up.
Yeah, that just means assaulting the walls is gonna be absolutely hell. Also, I downloaded the HD mod, so look how crisp these dudes look.
It's kind of grainy from it being transmitted over stream, but they do look
Yeah.
better than I expected them to look given when Shogun 2 came out.
No, I have the HD mod pack.
Yes, that's
So
what I
this
mean.
is-
Oh,
Yeah.
one more question about like phones for a second. Is it at all possible to like fuck that was a second.
Have
Is it
gay
all possible
sex.
to like mod your iPhone without like fucking your connection to its ecosystem, like the Apple ecosystem, or is it if is
I
it
think,
at all possible?
yeah, I don't think it's inherently possible. Like, you could try to sort of make an emulator, but at the same time, I don't know how
Like,
possible that is on phones.
How about a
Because, like, yeah.
femulator? And it's
Oh, hey,
But-
it
so
pretends to be a woman. Then
You know, you
so
could-
don't
you
have
know,
to
you
deal
could-
with
you
real
know-
women.
hey,
Or
so
you
uh,
Oh, I thought it was.
I was about to change the topic a little bit.
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, I went and downloaded an EPUB for Snow Crash, that book I talked about last week.
Yeah.
Yeah. So here's an excerpt from the first chapter where it's basically describing hero protagonist, and he's not called a pizza delivery boy. He's called the Deliverator.
That is fucking
That's
sick.
the character. That's what the character's called.
I'm a
But
deliverer.
that's the name. That's the
Cringe.
character's name. That's
So
the character's like
Yeah.
job.
No, that's
in
freaking
fucking
awesome,
Snow
man.
Crash.
Yeah, he
Awesome.
Deliberator.
Deliberator.
He wears body armor that's comparable to like a stack of phone books. He has a
Nice.
gun with him that's tiny, arrow style, lightweight, kind of a gun a fashion designer would carry. It fires teensy darts that fly 5 times the velocity of an SR-71 spy plane. And when you get done using it, you have to plug it into a cigarette lighter. That's like his gun. He also has a pair of katanas that he chooses to carry
So
with
there's a
him.
dude in a fucking bomb suit with a mini ass pistol and 2 katana on his back delivering pizzas. That's what this. That's the image of my fucking.
Well, that's because of that's how violent. That's how. Yeah, it's because he's
That's
cool.
amazing.
He's
I mean,
cool, and America's
That sounds
dangerous.
super cool.
This is
Okay.
the
The
perfect book.
Deliberator's car has enough potential air energy packed into its batteries
Yep,
to
I brought my
fire
fucking...
fire a pound of
shit.
bacon into the asteroid belt. Unlike a bimbo box or a bird beater, the Deliberator's car unloads power through gaping, polished sphincters. When the Deliberator puts the hammer down, shit happens. You want to talk about contact patches? Your car has tiny contact patches the size, in 4 places the size of your tongue. The Deliberator's...
Sorry, I'm in full belief that his pistol's the fucking noisy cricket from Men in Black.
It literally is the noisy cricket. It's a tiny little gun that plugs into a cigarette.
Snow Crash Deliberator. Wait, I just realized something. Is Snow Crash the fucking book where the word metaverse came from?
Yes, that's the one we talked to. Okay, but here's the paragraph I wanted to get to. Why is the Deliberator so equipped? Because people rely on him. He's a role model. This is America. People do whatever the fuck they like. You got a problem with that? Because they have a right to, and because they have guns, and no one can fucking stop them. As a result, this country has one of the worst economies in the world. When it gets down to it, talking trade balances here, once we brain drained all our technology into other countries, once things have evened out and they're making cars in Bolivia and microwave ovens in Tajikistan and selling them here, once our edge and natural resources have been made irrelevant by giant Hong Kong dirigibles that can ship North Dakota all the way to New Zealand for a nickel, once the invisible hand has taken all those historical inequalities and smeared them out into a broad global labor of what a Pakistani brickmaker would consider prosperity, you know what? There's only 4 things we do better than everybody else. Music, movies, software, and high-speed pizza delivery.
This
Okay,
is
it's
so,
now-
how can
just-
anyone ever criticize this movie? Honestly,
But it's amazing.
Is Snow Crash have a movie adaptation, or are we still talking about the book?
This book.
This looks aw. I'm looking at pictures of Snow Crash because I want to see there's a picture of the Liberator, by the way, which is just beautiful. So out of
It is
wait,
high art.
is the author of Snow Crash the same guy who wrote fucking Neuromancer? Or are they different authors?
They're different people.
But but both of them are basically 2 of the foundations for founding cyberpunk media.
all cyberpunk writers look
Yeah.
the same.
Yeah.
No, just because elements of technology and especially virtual reality and AR technology have infiltrated have become commonplace in American life, corporations, all that
Here
jazz.
comes the boom.
Hey, I just
Oh,
realized.
yeah.
So, I just realized something. So, something I've always wondered. In a lot, in like a bunch of cyberpunk media, sincere and like parody, there's always like a big part of the aesthetic is not only is like of like the big urban metropolises, is this like is like
Oh,
a Japanese
fucking
culture not
mist.
infiltrating, but being
Yeah.
a major influence of
That's
like
because
of life. Why is that?
That's
Where did
because
that
back when
prediction
the
come from?
genre was created, the talk of the town was that Japan was going to become the world's leading economy. Much like people
Yeah.
talk about China becoming the world's leading economy now.
Which
I
isn't
mean,
going to be a
I mean, they
thing.
weren't far off though, because with the amount of like Japanese media that has been imported into like America,
This is
like,
not about anime, dude.
I know, but
This
like
was
some
about
aspects of it-
microwaves.
Yeah, I know, like
Yeah,
economically, they
I-
have such a big world influence, like how America has its influence on like other cultures, like.
Yeah, during
is-
the 1980s, a big talk was the Rising Tigers, which were Japan, South Korea, Taiwan, and I want to say the Philippines and Thailand as well.
China to a
Where
much
it's like-
lesser extent also, but yeah, this was primarily those.
So
Yeah.
So okay. So basically, how like so the same way like you see a lot of American brands in like the city streets of a lot of countries outside the Americas, people took that and took that idea, but thought like ooh, like let's hypothetically Japan may become like this in terms of its influence on world culture, at least to the extent
Well,
of the
to a
US
lot of people, that Japan here in the States, and even in like Europe and the UK, Japan was a huge threat, especially to the automotive industry, because at the time you had American car makers producing these big gas guzzling behemoths that were just, that when OPEC came about and gas prices shot up, nobody could afford to drive. And in the UK, you had cars that were just so shoddily built because of well, the conservatives will blame the unions, but it was a lot of factors. Not so much to do with the unions, more to do with the.
I got you.
But.
Basically, Japan was seen as like going to be overtaking.
Well, and then
industry.
you have Japan come in with like the Honda Civic and like these little Toyotas, and it's like, oh, here's these little tiny cars.
If I could say
that are cheap, well built, and fuel efficient, and everybody bought them.
Okay,
Yeah.
I mean they weren't wrong though, because like Japan and like especially Korea too. Like those, like the amount of like it's superficial. The influence of Japanese culture, like a lot, just East Asian culture, just throughout the world, especially in Western nations. I mean, it wasn't like the deep economic Japanese mega corporations like rule a city, but like they weren't wrong. Like Samsung is huge. Like Sony is like
and Sega.
Sony's like
Don't forget
Sony.
Sega.
Yeah, Sony is basically the top media empire. Is one of the top media empires, and they originate in Japan. Like they weren't completely wrong, except like they were the ones, but they haven't infiltrated other cultures.
It's
the way
not
that
even
the
about
US
like
has.
infiltration. It's about just
Even
having
infiltration, that's the
the
wrong
economic power. It's not really.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. Of course they weren't wrong in the sense that they did ultimately obtain power, like a powerful economic position, but they didn't completely take over all of the entire world.
Yeah, no,
And
no,
that's the same thing
that's-
with China right now, where that's like, oh, China is taking over the entire world, and it's this rising star, and it's going to be, and then it's ultimately going to be, that is going to be halted by interior politics bullshit of there, and then the next one is going to be Nigeria, I'd reckon, or India, maybe Brazil.
They haven't infiltrated like the United States to the extent we see in like in other places. Real quick,
Yeah.
I was gonna ask you. Fuck, I forgot my question. But Burger, I interrupted you. Did I just interrupt you? I'm sorry.
No, you
I'm
didn't.
sorry.
No, you're fine. You're
All
fine.
right, All right.
Oh, bless you.
So,
What
so,
the
so, Burger.
fuck?
Again, your point is that like, we're not totally off. You agree with me, but like, they're like, it's not. They're doing it in other places of like asserting like influence on like other
No, you
countries.
asked me why, or like us, why this was a thing.
Oh yeah,
That's why this was a thing. It's
They
like
were,
it's
but
because that's what the people at the time. Media is usually reflective, like especially science fiction is usually more reflective of what people think at the time than the actual
Right.
and
the
like
actual
the
future.
idea was like with how powerful, how big Japanese corporations are. The idea of like in the future Japanese culture and like in business being a major factor in like American life was like at the forefront was a
Yeah, they were
possibility, or at least
growing to a massive size. Like there was a
Yeah.
lot of growth, and I don't know, people just apparently don't understand that growth eventually like stops usually.
I mean,
Yeah.
like they
At
kind of
some
again
point.
yeah. I'm sorry if I'm reiterating, but again, they kind of got there, not to like to the point of like the fucking Arasaka Corporation in Cyberpunk, but or like the New Yen in fucking Shadowrun. Love that new video, by the way. But like they weren't like incorrect with like
Well,
how
no, they
how
weren't
much
incorrect about the fact that there was massive economic growth in Japan. That was a
and
thing that was
influence onto
definitely
like out
happening.
culture and influence onto like countries outside of
Yeah,
Japan.
of
There
course.
wasn't really that much of a cultural influence outside Japan. It was mostly an economic influence. If anything, now Japan is a bigger cultural influence now than it was in the 80s.
I see. Okay. It's also about culture, more like Japanese, like businesses and stuff.
Yeah,
It's-
because
if you
while
wanna-
there was a lot of while there was a lot of culture being generated inside Japan, it was for Japanese people.
Yeah. And then with
Yeah.
like, so
And,
more. It was
and
more
now
of a
and now
economic.
it's spreading out. Like I think it's like the second top grossing movie in the United States is a Japanese animation right
Yeah.
now.
So
The-
it's
Back
okay.
then,
so,
the
but yeah,
aesthetics of
Burger.
Japan were associated with like new growing economic power, and so that's why these films would use
Gotcha.
those to represent that. And much like in modern times,
Alright.
it's the same with China.
Yeah.
Gotcha. So I see. Yeah, I see. Like how like yeah, I can see.
Yeah,
like, the
like, right
aesthetics.
now, like Chinese.
Have
Right
you
now,
watched
with China, is China having an economic impact and not a cultural impact.
Have you guys seen the documentary, An American Factory?
I have not,
It's
but
a-
I've heard of it. I've heard this.
Is it
It's
about?
good.
Is,
It's
is,
it's
is,
about a it's about a.
Oh.
I'm sorry, Em. You want to go?
You're about to answer my question.
Yeah, it's about a Chinese it's about Chinese windshield factory called Fuyao, opening up a plant in I think Ohio. Yeah, and I think I'm pretty sure Ohio, and like employing a lot of like I think like ex Ford and automotive workers at the company, and just kind of like not maybe not a bit of the culture like difference, but also the fact some of the culture difference, but also the yeah, just kind of like the what happens when like these kind of like I guess like two worlds collide and like the big business like the like people trying to like fucking something of the revitalization of like business and like of manufacturing in the Midwest, I guess. And one of the main things I just remember from the movie is that like eventually all like the workers come to respect each other. They all kind of just like they all come to like respect and appreciate each other. But one of the things that happened was that the CEO of Fuya was really against unionization, and
Oh, of
that
course.
happened. So yeah,
Yeah.
it's good though.
Communist
It's
China.
yes, communist China against unions.
Well, the same thing
Imagine that.
happened. The same thing happened back in the 80s. I know when Honda built was the first Japanese company, automotive company, to build a factory in the United States, and they built it in Ohio, and it was a big deal because it was a non-union factory,
Yeah.
and it caused a huge stir back in the 80s.
Yeah, people
another
forget that America used to be a big union country.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Another example was the Tesla factory out in the Bay Area. It used to be co-owned by Toyota and Chevrolet, and before that, it was a Chevrolet, GM factory, and it was one of the worst at the time in the 60s, or no, in the 70s. It was one of the worst factories in the United States for worker relations and like productivity and like quality control. It's like they would find like liquor bottles and roaches like in the door panels of the cars.
Damn.
You know, and it's like, and it's like they would. And it's like they'd have a car, and it would say it's like, oh, this car is supposed to be like a Chevy Impala, but it's got like the front end on it is like a Pontiac, and it's got like a Buick dashboard, and it's like they just ruined the car's not even like finished, but it's already ruined. So it's like they had huge problems with this factory, and GM just wanted to close it all down. But Toyota stepped in and wanted a partnership with an American company to sort of get a foot in the door into the American market as like a serious competitor. So they ended up teaming up with GM, and GM was like, yeah, you could take this fucking factory, this hellhole of a factory that we have, out in the Bay Area. And so they did, and they changed so much that caused such an outrage, not to the workers. The workers actually started enjoying working. Like they actually like wanted to come into work and make a good product, because the Japanese came in and they started doing shit where like, instead of the American way where like the managers and the executives just stayed in the office all day, never went out on the floor, and like they had their own separate bathrooms, they had their own separate restaurants and cafeterias. They just integrated everything where the managers had to be on the floor. They ate with the workers. They shared the locker rooms. They did like
the managers,
morning.
So the Japanese managers actually just like acted as leaders for the people for the
Yeah.
people under them.
And they were
Yeah.
they were also like probably Americans, the managers. Like
And like the managers were outraged. They did not want to do this. They threatened to leave. So like Toyota brought in their own managers, and like the workers like were like blown away, because like the managers, they weren't mean. They didn't act like they were above them. They like got on the line, and it's like, they answered questions. They talked with them, and the biggest thing that the workers were allowed to do, which up until that time was never allowed in an American factory, was the workers were allowed to shut down the line. If the workers saw a problem, they were allowed to shut down the line and tell management that there was a problem.
important.
Yes.
Wow.
So the Japanese managers actually acted like leaders and gave their workers like actual like autonomy, with some sort of autonomy and like
Yes.
and like
I thought
freedom when making
Japanese-
decision making.
I thought
Yes.
Japanese working force conditions were more like you are subservient to your higher ups, more or less.
Well,
that's-
it is
well,
that but it's
surprise.
also leadership is not just a privilege; it's a responsibility.
Yeah.
That's true.
It's
There's
both
a
of
hierarchy.
those things.
So they have like so they respect hierarchy, but it isn't like but they also but the higher ups also have a thing to do when they need to do it.
Well, when you're a manager and you are not one of the laborers on the floor, you do a different job than the laborers. See, the American mindset is that basically the higher ranked you are in the company, the better and smarter and more right you are. But
Yeah.
like the Japanese and many other cultures around the world understand that yes, you are a manager, you manage people, but you don't build cars. I build cars. I am the factory floor guy, and when I tell you there's a problem with the car, I am more qualified to tell you that than you are
Gotcha.
assessing it.
This reminds me.
exactly,
This reminds me of a
exactly.
video I watched recently where it was some guys who make the product were talking about how some IT guy who had like a bachelor degree or something was talking to them like, "Hey, you have to build this faster," and they were constantly saying like, "No, it is physically impossible. We cannot build it faster." And then at one point he was just like, "Well, if you can't build it faster, we're just gonna have to replace you with like 3D printers or something." It was just like,
Gotcha.
what?
Okay.
Oh
So-
yeah.
There's a hierarchy, but everybody has a role, and if you're in that role, then you know your shit. That's what I'm getting from this.
Yeah, and also there's also the fact that that Japanese managers and executives are more willing to at least at the time they were more willing to take responsibility for fuck ups.
Yeah.
Yeah, like you hear about all these cases. I think the most recent one was with Nintendo with the failure of the Wii U, where Iwata like took like a huge pay cut. Instead of doing layoffs, he took like a huge pay. It was a thing where like every worker was gonna take like a small pay cut, and he would take a huge one to prevent layoffs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Damn.
Wait, who was this?
She was
This
Miyamoto,
was the
right?
CEO back when he was Iwata.
Yeah,
Was it?
yeah,
Wow.
Iwata.
Wow.
And that's happened with other Japanese companies as well. I think like JAL, the Japanese airline, after 9/11, they suffered huge profit losses. So the
Holy
executives took like a 50% pay cut rather
Oh.
than enforce massive layoffs.
This
Cool.
was
That's
this is
actually- that's
something that
actually
like
cool.
the whole
Man.
thing where like with the hedge funds where they would just get paid extra bonuses and then fuck off. That's not the kind of thing that is acceptable in that kind of cultural environment.
Wait,
yeah,
what is
yeah.
taking what? Wait, doing what?
You know,
Thinking
like
like
how
a-
after the financial crisis, all of the bankers, like the bank CEOs and the hedge fund CEOs, they got fired, but they got like hundreds of millions in severance
Yeah, they got
packages.
golden. They got golden
Yeah.
parachutes. They
Yeah.
got
Oh, that's
golden
not
parachutes.
that's not a
Like
thing at
all of
in
the
Japan.
people responsible for the financial crisis got a lot of money.
Yeah.
Yeah, whereas in Japan, at least as far as I know, I think they're still doing it. Where it's like if you have like a poor year or a bad year, it's like not the workers. They don't look at the workers. They look at the executives. It's like,
Yeah.
why did you fuck this up? You're the
Yeah.
leader. Why did
Huh.
you do this?
Yeah,
Alright.
you're supposed to
Gotcha.
be
I
making,
I
you're
see
making the
this
decisions.
this I see this as a theme in a lot of Japanese video games. Like it might be over exaggerated, but the thing is, like, there's this lot of talk about like personal responsibility, like
Mhm.
as a leader.
Yeah.
Like it's always like the higher ups. It's like, well, this guy fucked up. He's your crew. It's your responsibility. Like
Yeah.
you brought him
Oh.
into this job. You fucked up, which is
Oh.
actually the central theme for Yakuza 0.
Yeah, yeah.
I gotcha.
Where it's literally like, well, first of all, the main character is set up, so technically not his fuck up, but at the same
Yeah.
time, it's like, well, even though he's set up, it's the boss's fuck up, so
Yeah, and
something's
not-
gonna
not-
happen
not-
to him.
Not to ride the nuts of Japan too hard. They do have a terrible work culture.
Oh yes.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I mean, it's
100%.
yeah. I'm
Yeah.
just saying that this one thing that they do is pretty good. Otherwise, Japan is a pretty bad place to work if you're just like a regular person.
Like they will
Yeah.
work you to death. Something
Yeah.
very
Yeah, that's the main
interesting
thing.
that's
They
been
take
happening.
yeah. That's the
Uh,
main thing from my understanding is that like
That-
they take the leadership doesn't fuck over their employees, but they also have this awful work ethic culture that like it's that work till you drop dead,
Yeah.
which is not healthy.
I think
at all.
I think the one anime Agretsuko, you know the one with the cute little animal characters, but
Mm.
they work in like but it's an adult show, but it's like all the characters look super cute and chibi. It's like in there where they had one episode where they had it was the end of the quarter because they work at an accounting business, and it's the end of the quarter, and it's like the big mean pig dude, the big the pig executive, he's just like, all right everybody, you know what this means, we ain't going home. And they end up working like 16-hour shifts, but
yeah.
at least he's there with them. He ain't clocking out at 5. He's like there until midnight, 1 o'clock with all of them, getting all this shit done.
That's the one thing I would love to bring, like, from Japan. It's like that kind of, not the work culture, but that kind of responsibility. Like, you are a leader, you fuck up, it's your responsibility. It's not like, oh, we have to fire a few people and I'm completely fine. It's like, no, you're a leader, you cause the fuck up, you get responsibility.
Yeah. Yeah,
I mean,
totally.
imagine how that would turn out for fucking Activision Blizzard right now.
Yeah.
Bruh.
Oh my god, yeah.
Bruh.
Oh,
It's like everybody's like so glad that it's like, oh, Activision Blizzard is going under like Microsoft, so maybe they won't be so horrible. It's like Bobby
Yeah.
Kotick's gonna get like a fucking golden parachute out of this.
Hey, actually, if I could ask something, this going back to Snow Crash. I'm sorry. Is the Deliberator the main character, or is that a different character?
That's his job title is the Deliberator.
Oh, so he's the samurai. So the main character of this book is the samurai pizza movie.
Yeah, the samurai
pizza man.
Yes. He's also a programmer as a hobby as well. That's like a big thing.
Fucking love. This book sounds fucking awesome. I need to either find a copy or just buy it on Audible because this book sounds amazing.
It's on Audible. Yeah, I do recommend the audiobook because the guy, the narrator really gives his all to like how intense the words are.
There's a very interesting thing happening in Germany right now, which is that they're opening a Tesla Gigafactory near Berlin.
Oh, I've heard about this.
It was a huge deal. Like, Elon Musk met the German Chancellor. The German Chancellor went to the factory and, like, they opened it. It was. I saw, like, because Olaf Scholz is a kind of an awkward guy. He's like soft spoken. He's kind of a short bloke. He's very like he's not a I hate. This is not meant in a stupid and derogatory way. He's not an alpha male. He's more of a kingmaker, right?
Yeah.
He's not a super like assertive man.
Well, he is assertive, but he isn't boisterously assertive. And he is the leader.
He's the brain. He's the brains behind the beauty.
And it was so incredible, like having them standing next to each other, not quite sure how to like behave while they're being filmed by the news was just gold. But yeah, I'm very curious how Tesla imagines this is going to go for them, because Elon Musk famously is very anti-union, and Germany is union country. Especially in the automotive manufacturing sector. Like, he's going to have to go toe-to-toe with German labor unions.
Wait, I thought that Gigafactory wasn't making cars, it was making batteries.
How fun is that?
Well, even if they're making any kind of manufacturing, it's
they're for automotive use, yeah.
Even
how
if it's
fun is that going to be for him?
Wait, the main character's name is actually Hero Protagonist?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh god, that is fucking cringe.
It's a good Posh. It's an amazing book. You have to read it. It is so fun.
Send me the name. Send me the name.
Is it acknowledged? Like, did he name himself this because? Like he's his
first name was Hero. He gave himself the name Protagonist.
Oh my god!
It was like the confidence, but okay. So it's acknowledged in the book. He's doing this as some sort of meta commentary, some sort of commentary on like storytelling.
Well, it's basically he took his internet handle and he uses it in real life.
Oh,
it'd be like if Burger Creek. Yeah, it'd be like if Burger Creek started calling himself Burger Creek in real life.
I could actually put that on my passport. That is legally, I could do that. In Germany, you can put your artist handle on your passport.
I mean, look, Burger Gideon. I'm gonna call you this, Gideon. Functionally, Burger is your nickname. Is like functionally your nickname because I would assume that you have you have a decent like amount of people on here. I'd assume you know some people on the server in real life, and you probably get called that.
No, they don't call me Burger, actually. They call me by my real name.
Yeah.
I look either way. Like they call you probably both within
Yeah.
like which depending on the setting.
Yeah, I don't mind people calling me like, but it would get weird if there were like people that don't really know the channel. That would be really strange.
Oh yeah. It's like with me. It's like we both know each other's real names, but I still.
Hold on, do I know your real name?
Yeah, I told you it.
I say Burger's name because he's actually he's a public figure. You have your real name on the books you write, so I know your full name's actually your real name's Gideon.
Yeah.
Gwydion.
Yeah.
But yeah, I get that. I prefer to use like internet names on the internet and real names in real life. It just makes
totally. Yeah.
But yeah, the hero protagonist, he's like his first name is Hero. That's his real name.
Oh, he's cutting out.
Handle. He's like he's a half Japanese, half Black American from Hawaii. His dad was stationed on Hawaii, and
he's half black. Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's half black, half Japanese. So
Posh, calm down. No, stop. Calm down.
Cringe.
You don't know.
It's cringe.
This is amazing. You don't know. I don't know.
He's blazing.
I need to fucking read this book. This looks awesome.
Hang on, he looks
denial.
white as shit in this artwork though.
Yeah.
I don't know why they did that.
Yeah, he does not. Yeah.
It seemed I'm seeing black art.
Fury.
I'm gonna be real. Fuck, I may have just assumed the character was white, but at the same time, this is like the first fan art that seemed to involve get the vibes I was getting from this, and I may have just assumed the character may have been white. So I don't know.
Also, I got the name of the pizza company he works for wrong. The owner of it is the mafia, and the head of and the don of the mafia is Uncle Enzo. But it's the name of the pizza company is Cosa Nostra Pizza.
Yeah.
It says that on the
I
can tell you. Okay, so I initially looked up Snow Crash, and then I looked up fucking the Liberator because I thought I didn't know who was the main character initially. And I'm gonna be real. I see this trend of characters who are being reimagined as black. So I kind of initially assumed that this was fan art of the character, but no, he's actually mixed.
I see what you mean.
Sorry, everybody.
Oh, it's from the old book, so he has to be white guy because back then people weren't doing this.
Yeah.
That's kind of the thing. Like people assume, there was there being strong female protagonists or black characters is a new thing that only happened in the last 5 years. And it happened for fucking.
No,
decades.
I looked up the Liberator, saw this art, and then I saw some other art and assumed this seemed like an older piece. So I'm like, oh, and then I thought these newer ones were oh wait, so we're reimaginings of the character as black because that's a thing that happens now, and I'm making myself sound way worse than I probably should, so I'm gonna shut up now.
Yes,
I'm not saying you say this. I'm saying this is an attitude. It's there's no strong female characters in films. Have you seen Alien, motherfucker?
No, but I love the fucking where is he? Where's Hero come from again? Where is it come from?
I believe he comes from Hawaii.
So, okay, I'm loving the Black Hawaiian Pizza Delivery Samurai. This guy's awesome, and I love this.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so
the Italian mafia, dude.
Freaking Deliberator is amazing.
I love. Let me read another quick excerpt from this. People went to Cosa Nostra Pizza University 4 years just to learn how to make pizza. Came in its doors unable to write an English sentence. From places like Abkhazia, Rwanda, Guanajuato, South Jersey, and came out knowing more about pizza than a Bedouin knows about sand.
South Jersey?
South Jersey.
Hell yeah, dude.
Dude, I can't.
Also, he's name dropping places we all know of now, but in the early '90s, nobody ever heard of Abkhazia.
What's Abkhazia anyway?
Yeah, I don't know.
It's what Russia and Georgia went to war over in 2008.
Oh, it was a region.
Yeah.
You could.
Alright,
This is
so-
very easy to do, though. You could just go on Google Maps and like throw a random pin and be
Well,
like,
I
"This
don't
is
know
where
the
the character's from."
Yeah.
wait. Okay.
can you
Wait.
not
So how
know
much
where
of this book
Abkhazia
is like parody, is like near parody satire versus like just like regular sci-fi? Because like from what you've described,
Well, and like Cosa Nostra Pizza University is actually a parody of the McDonald's University.
oh my
which-
god, right? That's a thing.
Yeah,
No, shut up.
I forget
You know
about
what?
these things because I don't want to live in that world.
No,
Oh yeah.
like
Okay.
yeah,
So they're like a
uh,
huge ass mega chain. That actually makes more sense now. God damn.
well, yeah,
this is-
they have a McDonald's University where they send new managers to so they can learn how to run a store.
So they got this, but for like top level pizza chefs for this like pizza empire. This is
Yeah,
so goddamn.
yeah,
So
yeah. Well,
this went from like humorous satire to like actual world building in like 2 seconds. This
Yeah,
is
but that's
dope.
how the cyberpunk genre does a lot of it. I have a.
That's how 40K did
I
it.
have
That's how fucking 40K
well,
did
actually, there's a short story I wrote about this. I have like a
Yeah, then you wrote a
post-apocalyptic
short story.
setting where there's a church of McDonald's. Because
Nice.
there's a
Oh,
lot of places
yeah.
in the United States where you can't like be outside and not like somewhere on your horizon see a McDonald's sign. So this is like the premise is basically fucking the world ends and then like people come out and they're like, what might the temples of the ancients have been that they went to worship at? Oh, it must be this hugely advertised thing with the golden arches.
Which I mean,
So
they're not
so is Ronald
wrong.
McDonald their god? I'm very
No, that's
fuck.
Jesus.
yeah.
That'd
Oh.
be Jesus, my dude.
Yeah, yeah. It's
Oh,
like it's like
so they think Jesus was. So they think McDonald's was a worship place of Jesus.
yeah, it's like it's syncretic because obviously they didn't all lose their memories in the apocalypse.
That reminds me a lot of
Okay.
another
so-
sci-fi book from the '60s called
And real quick. Okay, so Burger.
Yeah.
So they remembered Christianity, but they just thought McDonald's was the place you worship.
Well, this is a religion. Like there's also like Catholics
Multiple.
still. And this is like a
The Ca-
religious movement that emerged.
Are the Catholics like at Burger King?
No, they're
Please, some
just
of the Catholics
Catholics.
Okay.
Like
Damn.
people do think of themselves as like being of the like we're from like before the turning, and this is like the scripture of the ancients. Like it's a little bit probably most people they like know, like historians from who know about before the turning, they like know that this is like a fast food restaurant chain. But to the people who created that religion, that isn't really something that's relevant.
Okay.
Because like it's like everyone knows that like the fucking Joseph Smith basically wrote the fucking book, right?
Yeah.
In like they
Gotcha.
even it
Look-
was destroyed and they were if it was really
Is-
revelation from God, you could.
Is their
write the
logic
exact
just
same
like
book.
Jesus good, burger good, burger good,
No, they
burger
just
good,
assumed
yeah.
that. No, they just
Burger Googa.
no. They went. They were like they went ahead and said, "We're gonna do the religion of the ancients. We're gonna go into their temples." And they understood, of course, some of the religions of the ancients. Because there's a lot of different types of flavors of
Gotcha.
Christianity, and so they go to these temples, and there's this like Ronald McDonald character, and this Hamburglar who is like the evil guy. And Grimace, who, there's all these different fucking little things. And so this is like they go into what they think is the temple and they see this iconography and it starts syncretizing with the beliefs that they already have.
Gotcha. Okay, I see.
Yeah,
I see.
I posted a cover for the book I was talking about, Canticle for Leibowitz. It's your story sounds a lot like this, which is so like in the Canticle for Leibowitz, there was a nuclear war that happened, post-apocalypse comes, and then because of that, there's a huge backlash where like it's called a simplification, where all like technology and creators of technology are just killed off and destroyed. And this one researcher with the U.S. military sought refuge in a Sister Cister CIA Sister Monastery, and hundreds of years go past, and this monastery, they start discovering pieces of technology. They become preservers of technology and books and stuff like that, and they eventually through lots of traveling and betrayal and discussions and stuff, this guy Leibowitz, this Jewish researcher for the U.S. Army, becomes a saint in the Roman Catholic Church, like a thousand years, as a thousand years.
Because he kept what exactly? I'm sorry.
Because he basically guided the monastery he was a refugee in. He basically got them to preserve technology and preserve books to try to, because at the time there was a huge, like, people saw the nuclear war happen, destroy the world, and they blamed technology and the creators of technology for the apocalypse. So they were killing anyone they could. And he sort of taught this monastery to try to protect it, for the future. And because of that, he eventually, 1,000 years down the road, he becomes a saint.
That is how you become, like, you can become a saint of the Catholic Church today. Like, people that that were alive while I was alive have become saints of the Catholic Church.
Yeah.
Really? What? That's cool.
There's a few specific qualifications you need to meet. I think those qualifications have changed over time, because I'm pretty sure fucking Pope John Paul II didn't work any actual verifiable miracles. It's.
But I do like this map of post-apocalyptic North America, where it's just you have
Texarkana Majoret.
Yeah, the Papal States, which is St. Louis.
Kingdom of Chihuahua. That's great.
Newark.
There's Newark.
God, these kill animations.
Newark.
Really?
Love it.
Saints.
Yeah.
Living out the fantasy of every samurai ever, just running down.
And so the Abbey of St. Leibowitz is in northeastern Utah.
Cool.
Yeah, so if you go to the list of Catholic saints Wikipedia page, right? This is fucking cool.
Nice.
You can like search by date of death, and like John Paul II is the latest one that died.
Damn, John Paul II.
But there's a bunch of like popes often get canonized.
The latest was he died 2005. Huh.
Yeah, so that's a huge thing.
Wow. Huh.
I forgot. Was Mother Teresa ever turned into a saint, or did they not do that?
I don't know, actually.
Yeah, because it was like after she died, it was like there was a lot of controversy because of how terrible she was.
Among atheists, this was like during the New Atheism movement.
Oh, right.
Francis.
No, she is Saint Teresa of Calcutta. Yeah, she was beatified. She was canonized.
Mother Teresa.
Actually, the third latest one. Yeah,
Oh,
in 2016. Yeah, see, you can also go with this by date of canonization, and the latest one was Margaret of Castello on the 24th of April 2021. Whatever the fuck equivalent means, by Pope Francis, and she died in 1320.
Wait, when was Joan d'Arc canonized again?
That was like a while ago, right? Let's
because I know she got exonerated by I can't remember who exonerated her on which side of the
Church.
The entirety of the Catholic Church, not just like
there was like a retrial basically, because the original trial was like a
witch hunt.
Yeah, it was basically like it was a kangaroo court. And the Catholic Church was like, what the... Of course she could wear man's armor if it's to protect her own life. What the fuck are you on about? I can't...
Goddamn.
Joanne of France?
You based Catholic Church allowing women to wear armor.
Yeah.
Based.
Joanne of Arc was beatified in 1920 by Pope
1920.
Benedict XV. Yeah.
Based.
Yeah. But yes, Mother Teresa was canonized.
Goddamn, I can't get enough of this fucking music. This fucking music's great.
Yeah. What is John Henry Newman? Oh, I know this guy. Yeah.
John Henry Newman. That
Is
sounds
it-
like something
Hey,
very recent.
He was English.
I know I keep asking this. What exactly is the title of Snow Crash referring to? Like, what does Snow Crash like refer to in the book in terms of like?
Oh, yeah, there's a specific reason it's called that. Let me look it up really quick. I want to say it's what happened. Well, no, that refers to Neuromancer. Jeez.
Wait, hang on. This I have to. This.
Yeah,
Am I
keep
seeing
keep
this
talking.
wrong?
I'm looking.
There's a. I'm trying to find out if this is a real thing or if this is like a joke, because what I'm seeing on Twitter right now is an app called Shidly, where you can Airbnb out your toilet. I'm pretty sure this is a parody though.
Yeah, that has to be a parody.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
No. Yeah. It is. Because this kind of shit, like in Germany, would literally be illegal on account of being
This kind of shit.
unconstitutional. Like you can't not let someone shit.
Yeah,
Okay,
that's a violation of human rights right there.
Yeah.
Okay, so here it is. Stevenson wrote about the Apple Macintosh that when the computer crashed and wrote gibberish into the bitmap, the result was something that looked vaguely like the static on a broken television set, a snow crash. So it's like literally like when a computer crashes.
So computer static looks like snow, and so like okay, I see that.
Yeah, it came from the fact that he had problems with his Apple Macintosh that it crashed a lot.
Yeah.
That's good. That's good.
Stephen has also mentioned that Julian Jaynes' book, The Origin of Consciousness and the Breakdown of the Bicameral Mind, was the main influence for Snow Crash. So,
Makes sense.
yeah.
Makes
Oh
sense.
yeah, I forgot about this part. This part's so like Evangelion like cringe. It turns out that Sumerian is the programming language for the brain.
Yeah, I remember
What?
this. We talked about this last time.
Yeah.
I love this
Sumerians-
because this book is like, it just does not give a shit. This is what I like about eventually genres just come up with so many conventions and so many rules, so many subcategories that you need this like happens again and again, and it often sparks new genres. Whereas like people just take everything that they think is awesome and they like put it in. And this then either turns out to be something like Snow Crash or something like fucking The Avengers.
So going back a bit, what the fuck? So Sumerians, the fucking. Okay, you don't.
Yeah, the book presents the Sumerian language as the firmware programming language for the brainstem, which it functions as a BIOS for the human brain. According to the characters in the book, the goddess Ashira is a personification of a linguistic virus similar to a computer virus. The god Enki was created as a counter program, which he has called the Namshub, that caused all of humanity to speak. Oh, yeah.
What the fuck?
Yeah. I don't know if this stuff is even in the fucking book. I'm not sure. This sounds like a lot of fan This sounds like a lot of fan speculation.
That's pretty great.
Well, that's fucking bullshit, and we all know it.
Yeah.
Not a base because that's just funny.
Hey, wait, Burger, check this out. So when I upgrade a character in this game,
Yeah.
I can get either a silk top hat as a retainer, or a Genjutsu master.
Yeah, I'd take the top hat, man, honestly.
Do I want to
Genjutsu
look
master.
sick as fuck?
He's not gonna
What?
make you look
Genjutsu?
dapper.
There's fucking jutsus in this shit?
Not Genjutsu, Ken, as in K.
I would
No,
fucking...
Kenjutsu being a sword.
I can't wait to be, like, old enough to justify carrying a cane. I really want to have, like, a cool cane.
That is
I want to have a
true.
cane that's also a gun, like that one dude from James Bond.
Yeah, I feel like
Connie Patty.
Ruby. Is that true or not?
What?
Did you like Ruby? Yes or no?
You're talking about the cartoon.
Yes, the
I
Rooster Teeth
used
show.
to.
I watched a couple episodes of it. It didn't really. I watched it early on where the animation was really weird, and I just didn't.
Yeah, it
get
was
interested.
animated by fucking what's his
Burger,
name?
I'd love for you to at some point do a video analyzing it. It's technically been done to death,
An
but
anime?
I'm sorry. No, it's an American independent animation 3D animated show that got that's inspired by anime, but it really fucked up in terms of its world building and writing in a lot of places. At least like in a good few
It was
notable
the thing
places.
is, it was already technically fucked up by the start. But the good thing was, nobody
Yeah, good
fucking
fight
cared about
scenes.
the story. Nobody cared about the fucking animations. Nobody cared about the world building because the animation was fucking sick.
The fight scene animations were sick
The
as
fight
hell.
scene
But, like,
animation because it was made by what's his name? This really
Montiel.
famous, yeah, Monty who's really good at making 3D fight scenes. Like, if you've seen most of his work, it's like top
No,
tier.
he's a god. He's fucking.
He's
a
god
fucking
tier.
god. He's a genius, but he's also a really fucking bad writer who refused to sit in the writers' room and try and plan out his fucking story
Oh,
because he
this
hated
is
writing.
RWBY. Okay.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, and I really want to I don't know why. I want to hear you
Then
analyze
say it's
and
RWB.
I want to hear your take on this.
This looks terrible. From the way it looks, it's like a bad. Why am I even saying bad? It's a completely superfluous word. A JRPG MMO.
Fair,
I mean,
fair.
he was a
But the
huge
thing
fan
is,
of fun.
Burger, the thing is, only care about the first 3 seasons. Watch
No,
Watch
this
those three
is the
and you're
thing that
fine.
always happens. No, this is not. You just watch the first season of JoJo, and you're gonna love it. You just the first. You have
No,
the first season
that's
of
the
JoJo.
worst. That's the worst.
best. That is the best. You have to watch it, and then the show
No,
really.
JoJo, everything. You have to watch
This is-
everything.
just
this
watch
is
the
what
first
always
season.
happens. And like when I try to watch which I will not. Like I try to watch this Ryby shit. And then it turns out it's bad, and someone else is gonna go, oh, what? So the first 3 seasons? Actually, it's the thing you have to watch is the last 3 seasons, but for that
The
you have to
only
watch the
ones
first 3
who
seasons
like
until
the
it gets
last
good.
Just watch a recap of fucking part 1, and then we'll start with part 2, because that's where it gets
No,
funny.
I'm
No, part
not
one
going
is
to watch
fine.
anime.
Look, Burger, don't watch it. Don't watch it. I can already tell you're not gonna like it. But if I can argue with everybody here,
No, you can't.
the thing is with Ruby, like first 3 seasons, fine. Season 3 was god tier though. But after that, like, what the fuck was season 4? And the rest of the seasons, don't even talk to me if you like them. Just don't. Get out.
Like, unless you are posting unless you have an anime that's The Sopranos, I don't want to see. Which that would be cool. I would
Sopranos,
watch
the
The Sopranos as anime.
I mean, I feel like you'd probably dig Mobile Suit Gundam because it's a huge, big fucking space opera, and I think it's pretty much on the level of The Expanse.
So let's actually get into this. It's The Sopranos as an anime, but the guy, all the voice actors are Japanese and trying to do an Italian accent.
Yes.
Oh
Burger,
god. hang
okay,
on.
Burger,
Let
that
me
also
see if I
sounds
can
amazing,
try
but I
to do one.
Burger, that sounds amazing, but I really think you'd probably dig Gundam. I haven't watched it myself, but I want to get into it at some point. It's The Expanse, but for weebs.
But
dude.
is it
It's
anime
good.
though?
Yes, but it's
Then I
good.
won't dig it.
Dude, it's giant robots in
It's
space.
anime.
But dude, it's space colonies fighting Earth, and
There's a
big
lot
old
of
war.
garbage space colonies fighting Earth media out there. It's a
Dude,
very
the
basic
Belters are
recipe.
Nazis in this one. They're so good. It's good. The Belters are Nazis in
But
this
you
one.
but you haven't seen it either yet.
I like the Belters.
Okay, fair. Actually, yeah. Also, wait, Marco Inaros is basically Space Hitler, isn't he?
He's worse than Space Hitler. Like, don't spoil what he does, but he literally is he does the worst thing that has ever happened. By like a long
By
shot.
like a wide margin.
Yeah, like Hitler is more of a fucking Ted Bundy type character compared to what he does. It's incredible. I don't think the show really like digs down as to like just the degree of how morally reprehensible what he does is.
It's bad.
It's bad, bro. It's bad.
Yeah.
Goddamn, I'm just not
This
getting
is
money.
just
Fucking hell.
so insanely bad. But I think this is a thing that I mean I don't want to compare it like this to like Shad's novel, but like in Shad's novel where he does this like huge genocide that's worse than the fucking Holocaust. We're still expected to like empathize with him.
Oh, hey, Burger. I just want to mention, still one of my favorite stories you ever wrote was your very first one,
The
where they
sterilization.
the sterilization. That I love it because of how normal it is.
Yeah, that was a
That they
bit
just
intense.
wiped out a fucking planet.
We're
Yeah, I know
40K?
it was a temp, but he did really good.
We're talking about 40K or we're talking about something else?
No, I'm talking
I'm
about
talking
one of
about Shad Versity's novel.
No, actually, we're
No,
talking
I
about a
was-
short story that I wrote.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
Oh, damn.
So wait, how
Oh, damn.
exactly does the main character de-age? And isn't he like a turbo rapist or
See
something?
that? Yeah, yes. So he de-ages.
Wait, this is
Turbo
Shad's. Wait, this is Shad's book.
Yeah. Okay. Oh my God. There's Okay, I know the stream is supposed to be over. I'm going to explain to you Shad's book. So
Okay,
basically,
please.
the premise of Shad's book, there's a very interesting world. The world that is in is very interesting. It's like cast in perpetual daylight, and if you get out of daylight, the shadows take over, and you become like evil. As shadows living inside of the floating islands, and if you fall through the bottom of the world, you come out the top of the world. There's a lot of really cool shit going on with the world building.
Okay, yeah, that sounds pretty cool.
Basically, the main character is a guy who used to be the emperor of like most of the world. He was an absolute genocidal maniac who killed like 50 million people and like fucking raped. He created an incredible amount of like suffering in the world. He is literally a turbo rapist. Like that's even that is like the least of his crimes. This is how bad this guy is. And basically, what happens is he tries to like kill himself, I think, and he jumps off the edge of the world, but he falls like through. You know, he comes out on top again, and then he's like, after a few days, he's supposed to just splat on the ground. But the moment where that transition happens, he finds himself like rejuvenated and has like incredible powers that no one else, like powers that exist in the world, but he has all of them and he's better at them than everyone else. And he like he learns those powers in the process of falling, and so he saves himself. And he's like, oh, I've been given a second chance, so I'm gonna be good now.
He's falling through basically two portals, gets magic powers, and while following,
Yeah, and then he becomes young also.
And then he like contemplates his life and then tries to rectify what he
Well, yeah,
did.
he had contemplated his life before. It's like, oh no, the amount of guilt that because he like got away with it basically. They never found him. He just became like a tinker in some fucking town where he was like a village person that repaired shit for people.
Oh, so he's already guilty. He felt guilty, but then
But yeah, and then he's like, oh, now I have a second chance to do the thing. Like the reason he didn't kill himself earlier is because I can't kill myself because then I shouldn't be allowed to escape the guilt. And then he becomes like the hero of the book, and he tries to like do good. but like nothing he like defeats a bunch of pirates and shit, but nothing he could possibly ever do is gonna make up for the fact that he genocided like 60 million people, was a massive rapist, and inflicted this unfathomable historical trauma upon the world. Not to mention he has like a bunch of like the pirate king that he kills, that's like his bastard son.
Oh no!
Ace.
It's
Nice.
incredible.
So out of curiosity, then, with
Incredible.
so what is the extent of his war crimes? Like, did he like
This
systematically?
is literally no person that has been alive in our world today. Like, literally the only worst war criminal in all of fiction that I know of, and the real world, including that, is Marco Inaros. And Marco Inaros at least wasn't probably
Oh
a
my
rapist.
god.
But
You know
he
what
like,
I'm saying?
okay. I quantify the worst thing possible as like you rape a baby. Did he do that in the book?
He probably
did he
didn't do that, but he did rape a lot of underage girls.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, that's just as bad.
Like a lot of them. One of them is a character in the book. It's like straight up, she's like one of those people with superpowers.
So like, does Chad like delve into the psychology and why he like
Oh yeah,
tortured
it's
all
like,
these people?
I went mad with power and I was just evil. I was an evil man and I was evil and did evil things.
He was he was a sadist, but then he like somehow got over his like
Yeah,
enjoyment.
he was trying to
of
do
suffering.
good and then he turned evil and then when he didn't have power anymore, he turned like good again. It's and then like
That's
at the
just-
end, the end of the book is he gets fucking they like catch him, they find out who he is. There's a huge trial, and at the end of the trial, they're like, well, instead of executing him, we're actually going to make him force him to be Superman because he's like the most powerful guy in terms of these superpowers, and he's good at literally everything because of course he is. Yeah, there's like now he has to be. He's like his sentence will be like lifelong service to the Avengers.
Wait, dude, they have to have like a countermeasure. Does he have like a prison collar that will explode if he does?
Yeah, I
anything?
think so. I don't remember exactly.
I was about to say you don't take that guy and just make him a fucking god.
Well, like a bunch of those other like the woman he raped as a girl and who like wants nothing to do with him. She becomes like his warden. Like she is in charge of making sure he doesn't like. That's the fucked up thing.
Yeah, no, that's
Yeah, and so a bunch of those
woo
other
lads.
superhero type characters could definitely take him down. Like he's not Superman, but he is the most powerful out of all of them.
So how does this lady character get her superpowers? Does she also fall from
They're
the
just
sky?
born. No, they're just born with it, or rather, it's like not
Oh.
entirely clear how they get them. It's been
Okay.
a while since I read the book.
So they're born with these abilities.
Yeah.
The main character, the Emperor, just somehow just got them when he tried exiling himself into the sky.
Yeah, but like it's the world building of the book is really cool, but just the ethics of what is described in there is so like far out that it's really
I also gotta remember, like Shad also put out a video a couple years ago not defending the goblins in Goblin Slayer, but like
What?
really explaining like why they would do what they were doing in Goblin Slayer.
Actually, that's a question. Do they reproduce by breeding with human women? Is that like, was that implied?
Yes.
Yes.
They breed. Yes.
Okay. Oh,
Yeah.
so the monk lady was assaulted by those guys. Okay.
Yeah. No, but like because I know Burger doesn't know what Goblin Slayer is. That was just looking at how violent this dude is and everything. Just hearing it, I gotta read it myself. Actually, I think I'm just gonna pick it up on Amazon. But yeah, hearing you talk about this character being like this, it's like it kind of puts that that Goblin Slayer episode into more perspective of why Shad was like, again, not defending the goblins, but really going out of his way to explain why.
What was his logic for their behavior exactly? Just
'Cause there's
survival.
there's no female goblins.
So, well, yeah, okay, so it is, you can say they have to do it to continue existing, but that doesn't make it, that doesn't
Right.
make it any less sort of heinous from the human
Yeah.
perspective. So
And also in the anime, the goblins are clearly made to be the bad guys. And then
I
It's like
understand
they're animals.
trying to, make that, because of course they would do that.
Isn't like a chimp like trying to cockpit with a female from outside the group? They're sadists enjoying this.
But it's like
they do enjoy it.
Like, we don't advocate for the rights of coronavirus. Like, if
Yeah,
the
no, we
thing
don't.
needs to kill us or to rape humans in order to survive,
We would say no.
that
We would
Yeah,
be like,
we would say no.
yeah,
just
nah, bro.
destroy it.
Nah.
But the other great thing about Goblin Slayer is that it's literally about the Goblin Slayer. That's all you know about him. That's the only name he goes by.
Yeah.
And like that, he's like, because it's kind of, the world's kind of presented like a fantasy like RPG in a way.
D&D.
Yeah, like D&D, and like the only quest the Goblin Slayer ever takes is to go kill goblins,
Hell
and like he gets approached to do other quests, and he clearly has enough power and enough equipment to kill everything, out in the world. And people approach him like to kill dragons or to go after all these other powerful beings, and he's like, I only kill goblins. I only kill goblins. I don't care about anything
It's
else.
pretty autistic.
He's a Sigma male.
Yeah.
Okay, we're already 10 minutes past stream date.
Yeah.
So I'll
Also,
see
I
you-
wanted to post this video I found where the guy acted like a cat chased him so he could